Ever wondered if your lady friend is playing hide and seek with your heart? Let's dive into the world of relationships and uncover the truth. I'm revealing the top 5 red flags that indicate your girlfriend is cheating on you. You need to watch this. In today's episode of the Cheating Chronicles, we're going to delve into the murky waters of infidelity. We're going to discuss 5 signs that could indicate your woman might be straying. From sudden makeovers to mysterious friends, secretive phone behavior to disappearing acts, and the emotional roller coaster, we'll cover it all. Keep your eyes open and your heart guarded as we explore the signs of a cheating woman. Has your lady suddenly turned into a fashionista overnight? That could be sign number 1. Now, hold up, we aren't saying that a sudden interest in fashion is always a red flag, but let's be real. If your woman, who usually lounges around in her favorite sweats, starts stepping out in high heels and designer bags, it might raise an eyebrow or two. Remember, we're not talking about a subtle switch from sweatpants to jeans here. We're talking about a complete 360 from cozy homebody to runway ready in the blink of an eye. It's like she's been hit by a fashion lightning bolt and transformed into a style goddess overnight. Now, before you start freaking out, keep in mind that this could just be a result of her wanting to feel good about herself. Maybe she's just discovered the joys of retail therapy, or she's following a new fashion influencer. But if this style switch came out of nowhere, combined with other suspicious behavior, it might be worth taking a closer look. Let's lighten the mood with a little humor. Perhaps she's just realized that high heels make her feel powerful, or that designer bag is her new weapon of choice. Or maybe she's just trying to outdress you, mate. So if she's suddenly looking like a supermodel, you might want to investigate, or just appreciate the upgrade. After all, who wouldn't want their partner to look stunning? Just remember, it's always about open communication and trust. Have you heard about John? No? Well, neither have I. Sign number 2, my friends. Suddenly there's a new character in the plot of your love story, and his name is John. Or maybe it's Steve. Could be Michael. The name isn't the point. The point is, this guy's name is popping up more frequently than a meerkat in a prairie dog town. So, let's say it's a typical Tuesday evening, you're both lounging on the couch, and out of the blue she starts talking about John. Now, you've been together for a while and you know all her friends. But John's new as a shiny penny. And you can't help but wonder, where did this John come from? Now, don't get me wrong, it's perfectly normal for your lady to have male friends. But if John is suddenly the star of every conversation, if his jokes are funnier, his ideas are more interesting, and his stories are more exciting than yours, well, you might want to start paying attention. And it's not just about John, it's about the frequency. It's about the glow in her eyes. When she talks about him, it's about the subtle shift in her tone, the extra enthusiasm, the sudden interest in activities that only John seems to enjoy. So, if John starts popping up in your conversations more than you do, you might have a problem. Ever seen your lady hunched over her phone like she's deciphering the Da Vinci Code? That's sign number 3. We all know that phones are a big part of our lives, right? But it's a whole different ballgame when your leading lady's phone morphs into an extension of her hand. Suddenly, the screen is brighter than your future, and she's swiping away like she's on a mission to solve a mystery. Who needs Sherlock Holmes when you've got a lady hooked to her phone? Unusual phone behavior can be a tricky sign, my friends. Maybe she's just engrossed in a new mobile game, or she's become addicted to scrolling through cat memes. But if she's treating her phone like it's some top-secret device, it might be time to raise an eyebrow. Let's paint a picture here, shall we? Imagine you're cozying up on the couch, ready for a movie marathon. But instead of joining you, she's in the corner, whispering into her phone, or typing furiously like she's authoring the next great novel. If this sounds familiar, you might be dealing with a case of the secretive phone behavior. Now, we're not saying you should turn into a detective and start snooping around. No, that's not the way to go. But pay attention to the shift in behavior. Is she stepping out of the room to take calls? Is her phone always on silent? Or does she flip it face down every time you're around? And let's not forget the ultimate red flag, the sudden password protection. She's entitled to her privacy, of course. But if her phone was an open book yesterday and today it's Fort Knox, that's a sign worth noting. Remember, it's all about the change in patterns. If her phone habits shift dramatically and you're left feeling like the third wheel in your own relationship, it's a sign you shouldn't ignore. So if her phone suddenly becomes more important than you, it might be time to get suspicious. Is your lady pulling a Houdini on you? Well, that's sign number 4. Now, we've all heard of me time, right? It's healthy, it's essential. But when me time starts looking like a world tour without you, it's time to raise an eyebrow. If your gal starts spending more time away from you than with you, and her explanations about her whereabouts seem as clear as a foggy morning, you've got a reason to pause and ponder. Here's a scenario. She's suddenly picked up late-night yoga classes. Now, I'm all for fitness, but since when did downward dog become a midnight ritual? Or perhaps she's got an influx of weekend business trips. Unless she's working for some international secret agency, it's unlikely her job needs her to be out of town every weekend. It's one thing to have a busy schedule, but when her calendar starts looking like a secret code you can't crack, it's time to bring out your inner Sherlock. And remember, inconsistency is your clue here. If she's at a pottery class on Monday, a book club on Tuesday, and by Wednesday she's off to a weekend-long business conference, well, you've got yourself a regular Indiana Jones, mate. But let's not jump to conclusions. She could be planning a surprise for you, or maybe she's just found a new hobby. But if her disappearing acts are more frequent than a magician's assistant, then my friend, you might be in for a surprise. So keep your eyes open and your heart ready for whatever comes next. So if she's vanishing more often than a magician's assistant, you might be in for a surprise. Feeling like you're on a roller coaster ride, but you didn't buy a ticket? That's our final sign, sign number 5. Welcome to the world of emotional roller coasters where the highs are high, the lows are low, and the loop-de-loops can leave you dizzy. So what's this all about? Well, imagine one day she's as sweet as sugar, showering you with love and affection. The very next day she's colder than a snowman's nose, giving you the silent treatment. This sudden shift in emotional behavior can be quite confusing and disconcerting. It's like being on a roller coaster ride without a safety harness. You're just hanging on for dear life, hoping you won't fly off the rails. Now, we've all had our moody days, right? But if these emotional peaks and valleys become the norm rather than the exception, it's time to pay attention. Is she overly sensitive to your comments? Or does she get defensive at the drop of a hat? Is she suddenly tearful or unusually quiet? These could be signs that something's amiss. But let's lighten the mood a bit. Picture yourself strapped into a roller coaster car. You're climbing up that first big hill, the anticipation building. That's her being overly sweet and affectionate. You reach the top and for a moment everything's great. Then whoosh, down you go into the valley of coldness and aloofness. And just when you've braced yourself for the next loop-de-loop of emotional whiplash, she throws a corkscrew curveball your way. Sounds thrilling, doesn't it? Well, not so much when it's your heart on the line. Remember, folks, love isn't supposed to be a thrill ride of emotional ups and downs. It should be more like a leisurely boat ride on a calm lake. There might be a few ripples here and there, but overall, it's smooth sailing. So if your lady has turned your life into an emotional theme park, it might be time to get off the ride. So there you have it, folks, the top 5 signs that your lady might be playing the field. From the unexpected makeover to the mysterious friend, we've explored some telling signs that could indicate a woman's infidelity. We've dived into the secretive phone behavior and the baffling disappearing acts that could raise eyebrows. And let's not forget the emotional roller coaster ride, which can often be as turbulent as it is revealing. But remember, these are just signs, not concrete evidence. They're little alarm bells that might ring when something's off, but they're not a court's verdict. So tread lightly and approach the situation with understanding and maturity. It's important to communicate openly with your partner because misunderstandings can often be the root of many relationship issues. Trust, but verify. Remember, these signs aren't definitive proof, but they might just give you the heads up you need. Good luck out there in the wild world of dating.